We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 283. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my right is the always neat and sane Scholar Tarek. How's it going today, sir?
I don't know. I don't know how to feel right now. Something's just not right here. I mean, I feel like someone's following me. I feel like there's some kind of ploy to try and take us down. Haven't you noticed that someone is not here?
No, it seems like the usual crowd.
I have a feeling Scholar Charlie, Scarlet Charles in charge is after us. He's going to take us out one by one. He's planning it all. That's why he hasn't been here. He's waiting for the right moment to take us all down.
Scholar Tarek, take a breath.
I
Take a breath.
I know that I've been dealing with some crusades and diseases and burns and crusade. What?
I've dealt some burns too. The light here completely burned my nose last week.
But yes,
It was just too much power of the Orange Cassidy as the sun.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. Current reigning and defending Scholars of Wrestling heavyweight champion and party champion, the one and only Scholar Brian.
The burns have healed. The diseases have faded. The crusades have ended. Your champion has returned.
For now.
Yes.
It's just gonna get us, man. You gotta keep an eye in the back of your head because it's gonna happen soon. We're all gonna disappear one by one, and there's nothing we're gonna do about it.
Well, you know what? Before all that happens, you know what? If anything is going to happen, this week is the week because guess what? It's Royal Rumble weekend, and we have a lot to talk about. But before we get into all that, we are going to put our predictions on the line in Worlds Collide 2020. This one's only for points. It's not, the belts are not on the line. It's just strictly for pride and predictions.
Adding to the points that will be the Scholar of the Year 2020.
Yes. And it all begins here. So let's dive right in, starting with the first match on the Worlds Collide card. First of all, we've got Mia Yim versus Kaylee Ray.
This is the kickoff, right?
I believe it is a kickoff.
Champion goes first.
Champ, who do you got?
This is an exhibition match.
Mm-hmm.
Really. There's no reason why Mia Yim should win here. Kaylee Ray is the UK champion. I don't have a lot of UK people winning tonight, but if you have a UK champion against an NXT lower card woman, Kaylee Ray needs to win here.
I will second that prediction just because Kaylee Ray is the champion right now. Mia Yim, as much as their stock is rising, it's not going to be enough to trounce Kaylee Ray this week. Fool, what do you got?
I'm going Kaylee Ray as well.
Any other reason other than that?
Because she's the champion, and this is just, as Brian put it, an exhibition contest. So, yeah, it's just Kaylee Ray is on a momentum, so she needs it more.
Yeah, and it's
not really she needs it more, but it's a champ. It's like make the champion look strong.
If this was like a WWE special, like, hey, Mia Yim's gonna go over to NXT UK and we're gonna have a title feud, then I would see possibly Mia Yim coming out on top here. But it's just NXT versus NXT UK. Mia Yim's not going over there, so there's no reason to do 50-50 booking here. Mm-hmm. Just have the champion win, move on with your lives.
Mm-hmm. Elsewhere on the card, we do have the returning DIY versus Mustache Mountain. Now, as far as this match goes, I'm going to have to go with DIY for this one. again, as good as Mustache Mountain is, I feel like DIY are too notable of a team at this point, and as well as individual personalities, to really warrant any other outcome here. DIY, in my opinion, takes it.
Surprisingly enough, as I felt like going with my heart on DIY for this one, but with what you said, they are already the established team. They established themselves single wise. I feel like Mustache Mountain actually needs the win more on this one, and in my personal opinion, depending on where this match lands on the card, I actually see an outside interference through Finn Balor to cost the DIY the win. And honestly, I don't see them losing momentum and loss. And I see Mustache Mountain taking this as a huge momentum in their favor.
I don't think that there's going to be any interference in these match. I feel like this is going to be like a Survivor Series type deal when there's Raw versus. Remember a couple years ago when it was Raw versus SmackDown and everyone was convinced during Shinsuke versus Seth that Dean was going to come out and cost Seth the victory, but Seth just won clean. I feel like this is going to be that kind of card where, yeah, there's storylines going on, but they're not going to come into play on this card. That's why in this case Mustache Mountain really doesn't have anything going on that's big at this point in time, and DIY has big upcoming feuds and matches. Therefore, to keep them strong, Mustache Mountain is going to be over because this is easily going to be match of the night. Easily. No question in my mind. If it's not match of the night, it's because a meteor came and struck the building down. Okay, but
Meteor never puts anybody over.
yeah, meteor always wins. But it's the work rate of the match is going to keep Mustache Mountain over, and DIY is going to come out on top because based on storyline, if we're going based on upcoming matches, okay, the people who need to be kept strong are DIY at this point.
All right. Next match on the card, we've got for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, Angel Garza, Isaiah Scott, Jordan Devlin, Travis Banks. Fool, who do you got?
Angel Garza. I got nothing on this one. I just think his reign is too short for him to lose it now.
This is basically a cruiserweight exhibition match. Everything here is an exhibition match, really, when you think about it. There's no reason for the title to change hands here. Everyone's going to get their time. Everyone's going to do their spots. And it's going to be like one of those multi-man pre-show cruiserweight specials that they used to do when Buddy Murphy was the champion. And you just have finishers galore, and the last person who hits their finisher would win. And it's going to be one of those, and Angel Garza is going to retain because he's not going to lose the title on a Worlds Collide pay-per-view to people you're not going to see in the Cruiserweight division after this.
I'll tell you what, this is one of those matches where it usually ends up going two ways. Either this match is super exciting because we all pick different people to win and we're all just sort of in our own guy's corner and it's exciting, or it's just sort of a free-for-all and we all vote for the same person.
This is one of those.
This is indeed one of those. Angel Garza's retaining. He's retaining. He's winning. I've still never seen a match of his yet, but yeah. The laws of wrestling prediction shows carry him through, I guess. But all that being said, we're moving on to our next match: Finn Balor versus Finn Balor.
Balor.
Yes, Prince Devitt versus Sergey Dragunov, the Tekken guy. Who do you got?
This is exactly like in August when Cesaro went over and fought this guy, and it was to get Cesaro a win that he can't get on WWE TV, and also get Drogonov over just a little bit more, setting up for his big push, for his big NXT UK push in a little bit. Finn Balor is obviously going over here, but it's going to be competitive. It's not going to be what he did on NXT, killing a dude in 2 minutes. That's not what's it going to be. This is going to be a hard-hitting, heavy-hitting 10 to 15-minute match where Drogonov gets put over just enough to be able to help him along his path in UK and to keep Balor strong going into his match with Gargano at the next takeover.
Mm-hmm.
So Finn Balor obviously gets to win, but everybody looks good in the end.
Yeah, can't really add too much more to that. Finn Balor wins just on simple grounds that I really have not seen a Dragunov match yet. I seriously keep wanting to call him Sergey Dragunov just because of the Tekken guy. Fool, who do you got?
I am going to go third here, and I'm also going to choose Finn Balor for every reason Brian just said.
Okay, now I get to talk about something good. I'm talking about Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm.
It's all going to be good.
Yeah, but now I start off of this match. And
Silly.
it may seem silly, but my heart says Toni Storm, but my brain says Rhea Ripley's going to retain. So in this case, I'm going to have to stick with Rhea Ripley. Her stock is way too high right now, and this is going to be a good back and forth match. I don't think Toni is going to get hurt by this.
I second that. Rhea Ripley, for the exact reason. She's on a very high momentum run right now. It'll just be very, 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 very silly for her to lose the title now.
Yeah,
I stopped before you were able to slap me. I saw what you were doing there.
You saw nothing.
Oh, I saw everything!
Brian, who you got?
Yeah, you could write it down because you know. But here's the deal, okay? During the Mae Young Classic, when these two feuded and fought, okay, Toni Storm was on a high. Everyone thought Toni Storm was going to be the one who is on Rhea Ripley's level right now. But Rhea Ripley came in, okay, the booking has not served Toni Storm well in the last year or so. Therefore, Rhea Ripley has lapped her 2 times over in the popularity scale and how hot in the business she is right now and how over she is. There is no reason for Toni Storm to win here. Rhea Ripley wins, okay? And this is going to be one of those, this could turn into a Trish versus Lita type. Okay, where they go off and feud with other people. But you always have
You
that.
never forget your first.
You always have that one where when there's nothing going on, you can go back to it. Okay, you've got Trish versus Lita. You've got Charlotte versus Becky. Okay, and you will have Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm. Okay, Toni Storm will get hers at some point, right? It's Ripley.
Yeah, damn right.
Giggity. but it's Rhea Ripley's turn now.
You thought it was funny too.
I admit to nothing.
No, your expression and playback will say otherwise.
And finally, elsewhere on the card, we do have the team match of Imperium going up against Undisputed Era. Fool, who takes this one?
I'm actually going to go with Imperium on this. I feel like they actually need the win a lot more, especially with Walter's play in Survivor Series, which he even said was a mistake, and I felt like that kind of ruined his image. Not really ruined, but just it put a halt on his momentum. And I just feel like between the two teams, I think they actually have the better chance of closing out this event, standing over Undisputed Era.
I honestly thought this was the match that we were going to be different on. But here's the deal, okay? I feel like with Roderick Strong losing...
No! Roderick! No!
With him losing his belt to Keith Lee,
Whoop whoop.
that marks the beginning of the end for the Undisputed Era. Okay, they're all going up to the main roster after WrestleMania. I feel like that's coming. Okay, so Roderick, no, but yes,
no!
but yes, he lost to the most over man in NXT right now, Keith Lee,
bad.
as he should have. Okay, and that's just the beginning. They're gonna lose here. Then Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are gonna lose the tag titles to whoever they go. Probably Riddle and Dunn are going to beat them at the WrestleMania takeover. Ciampa's obviously gonna beat Cole when that match comes. So
He's going to get his Goldie back.
So this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the end of Undisputed Era in NXT, and this just furthers that. Imperium takes down Undisputed Era, becoming the real most dominant faction in NXT.
I'm not going to go so far to say that this is the beginning of the end for the Undisputed Era. I too am going to say Imperium, just because I feel like after all of this, they're the ones who need the win more. Undisputed Era are still, they're rolling in accolades at this point, and they can afford to take a hit. They can afford to put Imperium over as a presence, and that's really all as far as that line of logic goes for me.
That's all I got to say about that.
I was fighting back, quoting Forrest Gump, but no,
You can't do it.
It had to be done.
You just had to push the Gump button. Well,
Shouldn't have done that.
Well, as they say, the appetizer is over. Now, we're getting to where the titles be. We're going for the Royal Rumble 2020. So let's dive right in, shall we? Starting with Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo. Champ.
Humberto needs to get a personality before I decide to give him any titles. There's no reason for Andrade to lose here. That's it. This is a definition of too soon. If he does lose, he's held it for what? 3 weeks, maybe.
Not even that.
Yeah.
Not even that. I'm not convinced they really have any serious plans for Humberto Carrillo at this point. I feel like they brought him up way too fast, way too soon, without any sort of real solid plan to get him over. So yeah, unless they're going,
we're just gonna have him lose to AJ
Andrade.
Styles 18 times in a row, and maybe that'll work. That's it.
In my opinion, the ladder match that they had on Raw should have been on this pay-per-view.
Yes.
With Andrade versus Rey Mysterio. So, and just throwing Humberto Carrillo in for no reason other than just, hey, I want to fight you.
No,
there's not a good enough reason.
If you think about it, okay, I don't want to think about it because it means going back to that 50-minute gauntlet match that meant nothing.
It did mean nothing.
Okay.
And it'll always mean nothing.
But, okay, that there is a reason for Humberto Carrillo to be here, as much as I hate saying it. Okay, he was laid out twice by Andrade before Andrade became the champion. So it's like, okay, there's a reason for you to be here. It's not a good reason, but we're here now. But there's no reason for you're not going to get your revenge. It's stupid to allow you to get your revenge here.
So do we have an accord?
Andrade.
Andrade all the way. All right.
Of course this match lands to you.
Yes. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, it's Bayley versus Lacey Evans. Now,
This is where he loses.
Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be going for Lacey Evans with this.
But I'm going to be going with Lacey
But I'm
Evans.
going to be going with Lacey Evans. In all seriousness, in all complete sincerity, I do have a weird sneaking suspicion that this...
Women's rights.
Yes, women's rights are going to happen. It's going to be great. And I honestly believe that whoever wins the Women's Royal Rumble is going to lead up to... It's going to be someone challenging for the Raw Women's Championship.
Okay.
Yes.
Whoever wins the Royal Rumble is going to challenge for that women's championship. The head nods are going.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of viable contenders. We'll get to that in a minute.
I don't think
For
so.
the Raw Women's Championship, the people who could conceivably win the Royal Rumble. When it comes to this, I am not. There's still more stories that can be told here. And I'm convinced this is absolutely a moment of strike while the iron's hot. She has her reps. She is more solid in the ring than she's ever been. And I think she's an excellent face. Just ripe for a nice, hot, strong, new heel to come in and feud with towards WrestleMania time. I'm going with Lacey Evans in all sincerity. Who are you going with?
Taking it. Take it. Take it.
What am I taking? What?
I'm also going to choose Lacey Evans to win the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Who are you?
I actually think they're going to swing this in Lacey Evans' favor, and they're setting up, in my opinion, I think they're going to set up a triple threat for the SmackDown Women's Championship with Lacey Evans going in at Mania as the champion, and she's going to defend against Bayley and Sasha Banks.
See, there you go.
See, he had to take the pillow for that one.
You gave it to me.
He had to take it.
You gave it to me.
And you took it.
Yeah.
So you had to take it.
Like a bitch. Brian, who you got? Come on, we're talking wrestling here. Come on, let's go.
That
I gotta.
I gotta take that. Yeah, I gotta. You know what? That was good. Bravo. That was really, really funny.
Why am I still holding this here? All right.
Now, yes, there will be a women's right. There will be. To Sasha Banks. Distraction. Bayley wins.
Okay.
I feel like the actual
It's okay. It's okay.
the only reason I can see Lacey Evans winning is because I feel the actual feud here is between Lacey and Sasha. But I think because the feud is actually Lacey and Sasha, Sasha's gonna get involved and cost Lacey. Moving that off into a semi-different feud of their own and having someone else. I don't know who at this point, but someone else comes in to challenge for the SmackDown Women's title, and it becomes more Lacey versus Sasha because Sasha's the one going after her kid.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually see Sasha interfering and accidentally costing Bayley the match, setting up a triple threat. Because they've been hinting at Bayley versus Sasha for a while as well. At least recently, like they're showing hints of that crack. So I could see that. I could see them. Right now, they're the only women really going after anything. I mean, the only other women on SmackDown is having the thing with Otis, making some cake, making some cake, and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, who are still in that storyline
with the creepiest tongue face ever. Otis, my God, man.
He is. He loved that cake.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, at least he's been good to actually bring back the Val Venus theme song on TV.
So that makes me happy.
Yes.
I love that
Nostalgia is great. Anyway, elsewhere, we've got Shorty G versus Sheamus.
On three.
1, 2, 3.
Sure, Sheamus.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's gonna be Sheamus. We all know it.
Do you think they're gonna break the Daniel Bryan 18 seconds?
No, I think we'll get a good 3 minutes.
You think you'll get a good 3 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that this time they'll give Shorty G some offense.
This
I'm thinking
one-
they'll pull like an Aleister Black when he had that squash match this past week. The guy will just run into Shorty G will just run into a bro kick.
Let's see how well he can sell this one. Okay, that's it.
Elsewhere. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is probably going to be the intermission. We know it. Moving on, we have Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin.
It's Bryan.
Brian? Reigns, Corbin. Who wins?
There is no good pick
There,
for this
this
match.
one we lose.
But
we all lose.
okay, with what I've got going on in the men's Royal Rumble, I'm gonna do it. I'm not going with Roman Reigns.
Baron Corbin.
I'm going King Corbin. I think that we're gonna see a return of the 50,000 security guards. You know we're gonna get Ziggler and Rude. The Usos will come out, but they'll be taken care of by the 50,000 security guards. It's gonna be the same shit that we got at TLC, but that's gonna come into play again later in the Royal Rumble. But I
Okay.
think that he loses now in order to moving on.
I'm just going to dive right in and say Roman. I feel like this is going to be way too much of a safe pick. Roman can pretty much do whatever the hell he wants. The writers and the creative are going to be in his corner. So, yeah, Roman.
Because I'm also saying it because I don't think this feud ends here. He's going to need something to do in February. And that is... You know my pick for the Royal Rumble at this point. That's it.
Yes. Fool, who do you got?
I am also gonna go with King Corbin.
Wow.
And it's gonna end with Baron Corbin throwing Roman Reigns into a giant dog kennel.
Okay.
And then he's just gonna throw dog food at him. And a dog treat.
Want a biscuit, boy? You want a biscuit?
And a sensu bean.
Sensu bean.
Sensu bean?
Sensu bean.
Because why the hell not at this point?
This show is going to be wacky, and I love it. Elsewhere,
Sensu bean.
Sensu bean. We have Becky Lynch versus Asuka. Will Becky be ready for Asuka? Oh wait, it's my turn, isn't it?
Yes.
Will she be ready for Asuka?
The answer is yes. Yes, she will. Becky will retain her championship, making her a nice, juicy target for whoever wins the Royal Rumble. It will finally put the end to this chapter of her feud, as well executed as it is, in my opinion. This one, in my opinion, does not really need to continue on any further.
Yeah, no.
Becky wins. Cool.
History is going to repeat itself. Asuka is going to pin Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch is going to win the Royal Rumble again this year. Don't write that down because I'm just joking. That's not going to happen. It's going to be Becky Lynch again.
He didn't get the full name out, so you're good.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel
That
like
was
this.
bad.
I feel like this storyline kind of died when they actually. Like I thought Becky was actually baiting Asuka to come out to do that one attack, but when they actually made the storyline where she feels like she's questioning whether or not she can beat Asuka or not, that killed the feud. Like when they actually made that a real thing, it killed the feud for me because that's just automatically like, oh, any credibility of this feud is gone for me. And honestly, I'm kind of done with Becky. I just can't. I just honestly, sorry, Brian. I know how much she means to you, but I'm being all honest here. I don't. She's just like all the momentum she gained at this point last year. It's gone for me. I just don't see her as being like she's still like one of the popular women in WWE. It's just she's just not that big a draw for me anymore.
She needs to be refreshed, which is another reason why I personally am more in favor of Becky winning, ending this part of her story, and moving on to a much more interesting one with either. Well, we'll get into that. Right?
I won't go as far as Tarek into saying her actually saying like I don't know if I can beat killed the feud. It's like, but it does make it very predictable because as soon as she said that, it's like and because I do like the long term. Story of I do like the long term story of it just being like the one person like I haven't been able to beat the entire time has been Asuka. Okay, because that just means she knows she's losing it at WrestleMania. She's like, I need to beat one more. I need to overcome one more obstacle. The only obstacle I've never been able to beat, Asuka. And so it's like, yeah, once she says that, you know what's going down. So, yeah, she's winning here. And she's going to be the champion going into WrestleMania to face either or.
So, yeah, those are our picks. But next, we're moving on to Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan in a strap match. This one's going to be interesting. Fool, who do you got?
Lots of straps, and it's going to be sexy. I will choose the man who is planning on giving 6 Bray Wyatt shirts to a child with autism who got bullied in school, the Fiend, Bray Wyatt.
What a heel.
What a
heel.
jerk he is.
What a dad.
That'll make sense to all 5 of you.
This man should be the face of the company. I'm so like doing stuff like that. Just aside here, that is just one of the most sweetest things any wrestler can do right now. That hits the heartstrings very well.
Even before that, though.
But even before that, this has been one of my favorite feuds in WWE right now, and I just see Bray Wyatt holding that thing till Mania. I don't see him dropping it any time before that.
He's still moving that cheddar.
Jeez.
I just want to bring something up because a lot of people, internet personalities and all, are down on the Fiend because his matches suck and all of that. I'm like, let's think about it this way, okay? The Fiend as a character, his matches are supposed to suck. Okay,
they're not meant to be technical marvels.
They're not supposed to be technical masterpieces. Okay, do I agree that him kicking out of 20 finishers at a time is a little bit overkill, and maybe they shouldn't do that?
It's awesome.
It's awesome, but it is overkill, and so it's like every time Seth Rollins hits a curb stomp now, it's like, and everybody's playing dead. I'm like, why? Why?
Now that the Fiend is a downloadable character in 2K20, his superstar status will be 100.
Better be, but it's one of those. His matches aren't supposed to be good. The one person who's bought him a good match, a legit good match, has been Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
Okay, but here's the deal. This is a strap match. It's not supposed to be good.
Oh my.
It's not supposed to be good. When has a strap match ever in its lifetime been good? That's it.
Jeff is going to get the enjoyment of Daniel Bryan getting whipped by a strap.
But here's the deal.
By the Fiend. And just as it's happening, we're really glad that you're our friend. And this is a friendship that'll never, 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 never end.
But
And then it's just going to change to, this is the song that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
I was just going to talk about.
But you know what? Yeah. Come on. Bray
I was
Wyatt's
just
holding
gonna
that
talk
till
about
at least
Dusty Rhodes,
WrestleMania.
but why-
Bray
maybe-
Wyatt's the
maybe.
I gotta say, okay, I stand by my statement. There have been no good strap matches.
I am going to prove that wrong.
Enjoyable strap matches, yes,
Okay,
but not.
moving the
Good.
goalpost much. All right.
Yeah.
By next
But-
episode, I'm going to find you some good strap matches.
But Bray Wyatt, come on,
my.
Bray Wyatt's holding it until at least WrestleMania.
yeah, that's
excited
that's
for
the,
this.
That's the easy. That's the easy. Get out of here. That's an easy pick. I think we all know Bray Wyatt's going to retain.
He's going to strap his way to the top, baby.
I hope he doesn't. But elsewhere, now we're getting into the real meat and potatoes of any Royal
Hold
Rumble
on.
prediction show.
I want there to be a
Yes.
hurt heel strap.
Maybe there will be. You know, this is one benefit of the Bray Wyatt character. Even if he's not a technical marvel, he doesn't need to be because the gimmick and the character itself is way too enjoyable. Now, finally, we're talking about the big enchiladas here. Let's get some very large enchiladas and talk about the winners of the Royal Rumble matches, starting with the Women's Royal Rumble. Gentlemen,
It's me.
It's DDP.
Brian,
This all depends on the spot on the card. Okay.
I think this is opening the show.
There are only two options that you have here. If it opens the show, it's Shayna Baszler winning. If it main events the show, it's Ronda Rousey winning. I think it's opening the show. Therefore, Shayna Baszler's taking it.
okay.
It's gonna be an MMA chick, no matter what. It's just a question of which one.
I am not going to say that. I really don't think this match is dependent on where it is on the card. Personally, I feel like I see what logic you're going for here, Brian. But personally, I feel like the position on the card is not going to make any a difference. I think that Ronda Rousey is going to end up winning one way or the other, thus setting up for the inevitable rematch of legends.
It wasn't even a rematch. It was a match that never happened.
Becky versus Ronda?
It never.
One-on-one never happened.
Well, one-on-one never happened. But the
It's not a
story is
rematch
there.
if it never happened.
I want my title back. I want the title back that I never actually lost. You never actually pinned me. You know, oh yeah, prove it. Boom.
Yeah.
The story writes itself.
I just feel like a Ronda Rousey visual wouldn't do anything at the beginning of the card. It would be the best thing to
It
end
can be a
the
pace
show.
setter.
It would be the best thing to end the show with a big star like that up on the ropes instead. So, and they have the built-in story already with Shayna. They have the built-in story from Survivor Series with Shayna. So it's like you could go either way here. So based on that story is still fresh in the minds of the people. And it's a good match either way. So you're probably going to get the same match with Shayna that you'll get with Ronda at this point. So I think you go with the known commodity. At this point, you know what Shayna can do. on a regular basis, and she'd be a champion that would be there every week, and all that. So I think at this point you go with Shayna.
Okay, Fool. Who's your pick?
I am also going to go with Shayna Baszler. The one thing that has really disappointed me in this Royal Rumble right now is that at first they were pitching the idea that it was going to be Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. But now that idea is not really happening anymore.
There's 5 women announced for this match right now.
Oh, there's even with that. It was even for the men's one too, but ever since Vince McMahon is now very upset that AEW has now extended their deal with TNT and getting a second show, Vince McMahon has now just thrown any care away for NXT. So any plans on having that be an equal roster to Raw and SmackDown is completely out the window, which I believe is the biggest load of bullshit. With that being said, Shayna Baszler is going to show up as one of the handful of NXT superstars that are going to show up in the Women's Royal Rumble, and she's going to win that said Royal Rumble, because this one is now more following my heart, because I second that it was a toss between Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, and I don't want Ronda Rousey to come back. I don't want to see Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. I stand by where I stood at this point last year, that Charlotte, the triple threat, it was a way better choice. Nothing anyone can say can change my mind about that, because in my personal opinion, Charlotte was just as much in that storyline as Becky and Ronda. So that being said, I don't want to see Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. I want to see Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler, just from that Survivor Series build alone.
Okay, now finally we come to the Men's Royal Rumble. And it is on me, isn't it? Now, I kind of wish it didn't, because I kind of wanted to see where you guys sat, but you know what?
If you want to pass, we can pass. We can pass it around. It's Royal Rumble. It's different. That's it. That's it. That's it. It's a whole different animal. It's a whole different animal than anything else.
What do you got?
That's it.
I'm going with Roman Reigns. Just because WWE hates us. I have my own, it's pretty much who I think is going to win, who is my second choice who I think is going to win, and then there's going to be the wild card. I would have loved to have seen the wild card, but it's not going to happen. And when it comes to Brock Lesnar being number 1, the only person who I want to see eliminate Brock Lesnar from the Royal Rumble to build a WWE Championship match for WrestleMania
McIntyre?
Is McIntyre. You are exactly right.
Which means neither of them can win.
Which I want to see Drew McIntyre be the one to eliminate Brock Lesnar from the Royal Rumble.
However,
to start their feud to begin to WrestleMania.
Huzzah.
But as we said before, this Royal Rumble is going to the undisputed the Universal Championship with Bray Wyatt. And of course, they gotta once again have Roman Reigns close out WrestleMania.
Seizure. Brian?
Yeah.
Roman Reigns?
Here's
Going
the
with
deal.
Roman Reigns.
If going back to my prediction earlier, this is where he gets his back.
He gets out of the kennel.
I legitimately think that the Final Four could be Reigns, Ziggler, Rude, and Corbin.
Oh,
I legitimately think it could be that. Would I hate it? Yes. But that's how you get your heat back by Reigns is gonna eliminate Corbin to win, no matter what. That's how it's gonna work. Okay, that's it. The dark horse, just to throw a name out there, is Drew McIntyre. But because I hate that I'm about to say it, but I'm gonna throw it out there. Ken Velasquez is doing a double throw out with him and Brock Lesnar. That's how that's working. But yeah, once that happens and once McIntyre goes, they haven't built up anybody. This is one of those Royal Rumbles where it's like so clear. It's so clear who's winning. Like it's like even last few years there's been a little bit of intrigue going into the Royal Rumble. They tried it with Brock Lesnar this year, but no, there's one choice here. I knew it ever since he came back from the cancer. As soon as he came back, I was like, he's gonna be champion by next WrestleMania. They're gonna give him the Rumble, and they haven't built anybody else up to do it.
I will say, this is the one time I actually want Paul Heyman's spoiler comment to come true. I'd rather have Brock than Roman.
I am going to say this. This is going to be a controversial pick, but there is a line of logic to it.
Ken Velasquez is winning the Rumble.
He's picking Seth Rollins.
No. Cain Velasquez does not win the Royal Rumble.
Seth Rollins.
I think you actually hinted at this before.
Cain Velasquez is not going to win the Royal Rumble, but I do believe he's going to come to the assistance of the guy who is. And I believe that is. I believe that I actually believe it's going to be Kofi Kingston.
Oh.
Thus setting up for the rematch that, again, you've got that way. Not only do you have an ideal setup for an actually interesting WrestleMania main event for real this time, the main event, because we all agreed that last year that match should have been the main event. This match is going to be the ultimate return match, and with the inclusion of Cain Velasquez, which I think is not a spoiler that we all know that Cain Velasquez is going to be in the Royal Rumble.
Well, he said it.
Yeah. We all know.
Yeah.
Because of Cain Velasquez's presence in the Royal Rumble, it serves two purposes. Number one, in terms of the Royal Rumble, it can serve as the equalizer for Kofi to win. And number two, as much as they want Cain Velasquez to be a big-time player right now, his showing at the last Saudi Arabia show showed that he's just not quite there yet.
And it didn't help that his ACL was all messed up.
There you go. So, like any other developing wrestler, they need practice and they need reps.
Practice.
Which is why he's going to get involved right now but not win. This way, he has a good couple months to work with Brock and whoever else in a feud. Brock eventually wins, and then the story is Kofi gets his rematch, but now he's all alone. He has to go in there with the final boss of wrestling. He has to go in there with Brock Lesnar. Can he do it? Should he do it? Will he do it? We're just going to have to wait and see. But first things first, he must win the Royal Rumble.
Did you just make Brock Lesnar Shao Kahn?
Yes. Yes, I freaking did. And yes, he is Shao Kahn. So then who's Kintaro?
Who is Kintaro of the WWE?
I don't know. But
No,
either way,
just making sure. Kofi is on Raw, right? He's a Raw superstar.
I think the rule is you can choose either a Raw or SmackDown championship for the Rumble. You can choose which show you want to go on. That's why when Shayna Baszler wins, she's not going to go for the NXT Women. She's going to choose to go to Raw. So it doesn't really. It would be Kofi's on SmackDown. So even though he would be the SmackDown winner, I think he can choose to go to Raw to fight for the Raw championship.
besides, last things first, whatever. They can always change the color of the belt if they need to. Just like Bray Wyatt uses magical evil powers and change the color of a belt, he could do things. You can do whatever you want in wrestling as long as the payoff is right. And this, I believe, will be the right payoff.
It is definitely a
Very
huge
bold.
stress.
Very bold.
Very bold.
Yeah.
Very bold. I don't think it's going to happen because I
But
think
you know
Kofi's
what?
time.
It would definitely be more enjoyable than what we got going on.
And you know what? If and when it happens, hey, that itself will be its own reward. But you know what?
Hey, at that
I will
point, you
pick
would
up the
earn
pieces.
this title. Okay, at that
Hey,
point, you would earn it.
Not for nothing. Wild card picks and being bold and taking those daring risks has gotten me that championship, this one right here, thrice over. So, hey, this is the way it works. And when it pays off big for me, baby.
And it just as much costs you that title too.
You know
You
what?
you have to be honest, man. You have to.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta live life high risk.
It doesn't always help you in the end.
Yeah, but when it pays off big.
And it's the Royal Rumble, so these picks are only part of the deal.
There's going to be a whole other scorecard for when the party championship is on the line on the actual day.
So
And also,
until then,
the Rumble game.
And the Royal Rumble game, yes. For all those who are following us, this episode is probably going to go up either Friday or Saturday. So this is your last chance to put in your predictions. Look us up on Facebook. Look for the 2020 Royal Rumble game, sponsored by the Scholars of Wrestling Show. Put in your wagers. Pick 3 numbers and 2 winners. Earn those points. Last man standing wins. This is going to be the 10th annual game. It's always a ton of fun. It always makes watching the Royal Rumble a ton of fun every single year. Check us out on Facebook. Join in all the fun.
and we have to take this opportunity to point out that we will be saying goodbye to Brian Two Belts after this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah, most likely.
Oh, yeah, because the champion...
75% chance that the Crusades will come calling again on Sunday.
Well,
Making me unable to defend the party championship. And as in the case of John Moxley trying to get to Japan, if you're not at said party, you are stripped of your party championship. So,
well, then again, isn't also a rule that's the Scholars of Wrestling champion can't play for the party championship at the same time?
That's
The only way you can actually win both belts is the exact way that you did it.
I need to look at the rules again because I remember something about that. I was going to ask, but I don't remember seeing that in the official rules.
Yeah, I think
So-
the official rules say that.
the
if you're
official
champion-
rules are if you are the Scholars of Wrestling champion, you can't go for the party championship.
Yes.
If you are not, and you are one of us,
One of us.
okay, you can go for both if you're not the Scholars of Wrestling champion. Which is the loophole I used to become Brian Two Belts.
Exactly.
But
So
There's only one way it could ever happen,
We're-
then guess
so
what? It happened.
we got to say goodbye to this incarnation of Brian for right now. So with that, goodbye so soon. It's been so
those
long.
those damn Crusades. But when they call, you must answer.
Oh, don't I know it?
That's
Don't I know it?
So
So we'll see how it
say
goes
so
on Sunday.
long
And
and, go.
And just
So
as I said,
soon.
and just as I said before, it's like I'm at the point now where it's like, I'll get it back.
Mm-hmm.
You know I will.
He's becoming more like me every day. Soon he'll be like this me.
The plague is spreading. Everybody run. But don't run too far, because who knows? Soon it could all be. It could be your turn to
One
go
of
for this
One of us.
championship.
One of us. One of us.
So you know what? You've already heard what we have to say, but now you're probably wondering yourself, hey, what if I want a piece of this action? What if I want to predict along and go for these lovely belts? Well, there's one bunch of ways you can. First of all, follow us all across social media, Facebook, YouTube, now the Instagrams, and our current main way to get in touch with us, the Twitter machine, starting with @ScholarsOW for all the latest episode uploads. Check us out on our individual Twitter accounts. Fool, where can they reach you?
You can reach me at the Avataric.
Brian Two Belts.
You can reach Brian Two Belts for the last time at Atomic Beanpole.
And you can reach me at I'm Robbie Rage. But more importantly, this week, you can also check us out on our Facebook special event page, the 2020 Royal Rumble game, sponsored by the Scholars of Wrestling Show. Put in your predictions, and hey, if you get noticed and you win, who knows? There could be a shot to come on this very show. We don't know. Anything can happen. It's a Royal Rumble game.
We haven't decided yet. You'll find out when we do. That's it.
If you're going to be in attendance in the Scholars of Wrestling viewing party, you too can go for the party championship, which can get you, if you win, you can cash it in for a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship.
It's already happened once. Got taken care of pretty quick. But you too.
The doorway is open. If you want to be a scholar, come take your shot. Because we know who we are, and so do you. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're welcome.
See you all at the Royal Rumble.